the tib-fracture, it hit me pretty hard. Obviously, I got it from overtraining, so um, having it and then getting to this moment now has been like quite the journey. And like with your help, I'm feeling really strong now.
Very good, very good. And because I mean, when I first saw you when you were in your cast, there was quite a lot of knee pain, ankle stiffness. Naturally, the tissues had restricted quite a lot. And if we go back to our first couple of sessions, even going from a standing position from a sitting position was quite difficult.
Yeah, so originally when I had the injury, I was in a full leg cast. My whole right leg was fully casted out. And then when I came to come and see you, was when I got the all clear to move from the full leg cast to a weight bearing cast. And so I was on a weight bearing cast on that same leg. And yeah, it was difficult to just stand, sit. Like just to move was hard because I guess because I'd been 8 weeks or maybe even 10 weeks in a full leg cast, I'd not moved my leg once, I'd not put it down once, I'd not weight beared once. And so when I came to come to see you, that's when I had all the pain. So I had a lot of pain in my knee, a lot of pain distally in the limb, and it was just difficult just to stand and walk.
But one thing that was also, I mean, it was interesting for me to watch, but it's also a part of the process is obviously you adapt very quickly, but there were points where it seemed like your apprehension was getting in the way. So your confidence in jumping and your confidence in loading it. How did you find the process of having to come through the mental side of things as well?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of it was a big mental battle. I'm quite big on mental fortitude and like trying to be strong and be positive and just see my way through it. To be honest, meeting you was the first time I really learned the word apprehension, if that makes sense. So I hadn't really had that in my vocabulary in that capacity when
Pretty
it comes
good.
to training. Yeah, because it was very much like there's no such thing as apprehension. Like we just go, and I was very much go go go, which is what got me into this mess in the first place. Because I ramped up my training so heavily before I heavily loaded before competition. I ignored warning signs, I ignored signs of fatigue, signs of strain, and that's what lended me to break my leg. So when you started discussing with me like, oh, what I'm feeling is apprehension, that really just like was like a penny drop moment for me. All everything just kind of fell in place because it was like, oh. I'm apprehensive, but that's not just me being apprehensive because of anxiety or whatever. It's apprehension because my body's also might not be ready to do that, and so it's trying to build that confidence back.
That's
And yeah, working with you was just a lot of building that confidence back and removing that apprehension.
Yes, because the one, and this is just coming to me now, because obviously we discussed in your last treatment how a lot of the time your 20s are about finding your upper limit and then working with that. But also, I think what can come with it is we can kind of fall into the false sense that our body is a machine and it's going to do what we tell it to, rather than it we having to forge this kind of relationship with it where we can't push too hard if it doesn't want to, otherwise it's going to bite back or it's going to falter. Which sounds like the conclusion that you've come to anyway.
Yeah, 100%. Because even when I was younger and I used to do like a lot more bodybuilding related things, there's a CT Fletcher who I think is passed now. I think he's not alive anymore. But
Really?
CT Fletcher, yeah, I don't know. I think he might because I know he had a heart attack at one point and he was in hospital for a
Okay.
while.
I didn't
And
know
I don't
that.
know if
Okay.
he's still going. But I remember that because there was stuff like he used to do on the biceps and he'd be like bicep curling and looking at his biceps saying, "I command you to grow. I command you to grow. You shall grow." So it's like. And that was the kind of energy that I was applying to a lot of my training was that like, yeah, my body's gonna tell me what I'm gonna tell my body what to do, not my body tell me. And I don't care what the limits are, we go past the limits. Like we go, there's 100% and then you go past 100%, which shouldn't be possible, but that's what it was, and that's how I broke my leg.
Mm.
So yeah, it was finding my limits and breaking my leg was finding my limits, and then now just working in that space in between. And also like a lot of things that you've taught me, even just working at like I think I'm very much all or nothing. So working at seven out of 10 RPE, 6 out of 10 RPE, I'm seeing that I can still make forward progression at a lower output, just keeping it sustained.
Mhm.
Which makes sense when you think about it in a very holistic manner, but like really applying that thought process that I actually don't need to sprint today, or I don't need to like have a double gym session today, or I don't need to go for that extra run today. I can literally take this week off and it's not the end of the world. Whereas before I was used to this mentality of if I take a few days off, all my gains are gone and I have to go back to the beginning and so yeah.
Very good. And there's one of the last couple of things I wanted to ask you, Bolly, especially since I know being a veterinary surgeon, you draw a lot of meaning and purpose from your work. And
Yeah.
one thing that a lot of people don't often think about, what pain can do is it can really create a void between you and your purpose. In the sense that if you're not
Mm.
able to stand, it's very difficult for you to work. It's very difficult for you to be present with your patients and obviously your patients' owners as well if you're in pain or you're suffering. I was wanting to know how that experience was for you as well.
Yeah, I mean that was the hardest part, I think, because there's nothing more that I love than being a vet. Like I love my job from now to infinity, and it gets hard for sure, but I love it so much. And breaking my leg meant that I cannot work. That was like just first like the first truth, should we say? And that's the first truth is that you've broken your leg, you can't go to work. Like I couldn't drive, I couldn't do anything. So there was this feeling of a lot of vulnerability and having to depend on other people around me, which like I didn't want from a personal perspective. So I didn't want to have to depend on people. I didn't want people to have to clean up after me or have to do things for me. So there was that one side, and then there was the other side of the fact that I can't do the thing that I love, the thing that I drive a lot of life purpose from, because I generally feel like part of what like my why when people ask for their whys is like, I enjoy being with my patients, I enjoy being with my clients, I really enjoy my work. So when that gets taken away from me, as well as exercise and all these other things, it was quite like mentally tough. And so trying to build back, that was a big motivator for me. But there is that thing of like when you're at work, I didn't realize how much I'm moving in so many different how dynamic I am when I'm at work, basically. So like when I'm kneeling down for patients because my patients might be on the floor, or if I'm getting up the floor to take bloods, or if I'm like bending down to make myself a bit more comfortable around the patients or make them less fearful of me. And so it is hard because it is that difficulty of like you just have to be patient with yourself. And I operate a lot, so I'm in the operating theatre for like maybe 6 hours of the day. And if I'm standing, I remember the first period for standing for that prolonged period of time, I had to kind of like rest my leg on on the side whilst trying to stay sterile. And yeah, it does create a bit of frustration, but I think the biggest takeaway for me is just having a lot of patience um, with my body and with myself. Like I'm a very positive person in general, and I think you've said it before in a video where how do you train? Do you train from an aspect of positivity or do you train from negativity? Like some people like to be like, oh, you're gonna get fat, like better run, whatever. Or is it more like appreciating what your body can do? And I'm
Mm.
very appreciative of what my body can do. And so a lot of the time, just give myself the grace that look, my body is healing. It's going to take time to heal. I think as a vet, I've seen firsthand how long bones take to heal. So there's one side of having the knowledge of knowing that the bones are going to take a long time to heal, but then there's also this thing inside of me that's like, yeah, but surely I'm a bit quicker. Like surely it's gonna like it's gonna join together real quickly. Um, but yeah, just kind of like having that grace, having that patience with myself, and just operating from a place of kindness and a space of kindness, and knowing that nothing lasts forever. You will get through it. And so just knowing that even if you do feel a bit crap that time, then feel crap for that period of time, and then come out the other end. But the time's going to pass either way, right? So that's
Absolutely.
what I want to be stronger as the time passed.
Amazing. And then, Bolly, what are your aspirations? How do you want to use what's the upcoming challenge for your body?
Oh, I'm running the whole continent. I'm gonna run the length of
After all
the
that,
whole of
after all that
Africa.
respect to your body, you're gonna run Europe.
Yeah.
Get to
No, I think
Istanbul.
for me, I think the big thing for me is that I love the fact that I'm at a place where I think I can run again now, which is amazing for me. Because to be fair, I didn't run as much before, and now I run a lot more than I did before, if that makes any sense. So I definitely want to try and do some long distance work. I do want to go back and do HYROX, another HYROX competition. Don't tell my parents I said so, because they will absolutely do everything in their power to stop me. But I think I'll do a HYROX and at a more forgiving pace, or maybe pace myself more before I get there. Um, but yeah, do a HYROX, maybe do like a marathon, but just stay fit. Like I feel like as I enter my 30s, I just want to be fit. Like I want to do every sport, multidisciplinary, and then beat my future kids at any sport that they take up. That's the aim.
Man, you should pick up jiu-jitsu then, because then you'll definitely be able to beat.
I think it's coming. It's
Yeah,
coming.
man, it's everyone's yeah, have to. There's a time in it for everyone.
It's coming.
Very good. Bolu, thank you so much, but well done for all your progress, and I really appreciate your time.
Thank you so much. And I appreciate everything you've done for me, man. Like
Brilliant.
I feel amazing because of you, and like a lot of the lessons have stayed true up here. So yeah, thank you.
My pleasure. My pleasure.